this is the Outlet Forum with my esteemed co-host, Chris Camello. What up, Chris?
Still trying to catch my breath from that comeback of the century. Oh my goodness, the New York Knicks. Unbelievable. And what a major choke job from the San Antonio Spurs. I mean, you talk about a tale of two halves. Couldn't miss in the first half. Second half, you might as well have been shooting the ball in Antarctica, or northern France, Wembanyama.
OG Anunoby has one of the greatest games in Knick history, especially, and has the play of the night, which was a great tip-in by OG Anunoby after Jalen Brunson shoots like a 35-footer with 5 seconds left, coming off of the inbounds play, the ATO. He just caught it and shot it. And it was just short. It looked good, Chris, honestly, coming out of his hands. Brunson ends the night with his most efficient night of the finals, 12 of 25 from the field, 9 of 11 from the free throw line, 36 points, 7 assists. Karl-Anthony Towns with 10 boards, 2 offensive rebounds. But OG Anunoby with the game of his life. He had 33 points tonight. Made
and a clutch
7
block,
threes,
too.
4 rebounds, a clutch block. Ironically, he was -1 in the whole game. He played 41 minutes, and that's because the Knicks were down almost 30 at one point. So go ahead.
Yeah. No, what I was going to say was there were a couple of things I wanted to point out tonight, and everyone's going to talk about the tip-in. That's going to be and the comeback itself. There's 2 points I want to make. One was that block where Fox, they basically could have had the game won. I don't know what De'Aaron Fox was thinking if he thought that he could beat OG to the cup. I would have tried to dribble it out, eat up some more seconds, and then force OG to foul me. I don't understand what De'Aaron Fox...
Because even if that ball goes in, you're only up 1. If it goes in, you're essentially giving them the ball down 3 with 12, 13 seconds left. So
right, but at the worst that could happen, but hold on, Chaz, the worst that could happen to you at that point is overtime. And you could play the foul game. You had a foul to give yourself, right? So you could have fouled them, ate some more time up, fouled them again before the 3 point. I know it's risky. I'm not a big fan of it. I'm just saying though,
the ball
goes in. You have control of it. So OG came up huge with that block, which basically kept them in the game and kept them with the chance to steal this game from San Antonio. And then, of course, the tip. The other thing I wanted to point out, on a night where Mikal Bridges, I should say, had a horrendous game, Mike Brown makes the adjustment. Let's bring Alvarado. He had 5 fouls in the first 9 minutes out there. A clutch assist, right? And then he had a clutch 3, a clutch layup. He made a ton of big plays tonight. They do not win that game without Jose Alvarado.
Partner, I love you. If I cut you off at all and just start talking, that just means your connection's going out. Great points being made. Jose Alvarado was big. He made, in my opinion, he made the biggest shot of the night. And that was his 3 with about 38 seconds left to put them, or to bring them within 2. That even set up that last play. Josh Hart should be thanking OG Anunoby. He should give him probably half of his game check. He should probably name his next child after OG, because Josh Hart almost went down in New York Knicks lore for the worst possible moment in infamy in New York Knicks history. Wide open layup off of a De'Aaron Fox turnover. De'Aaron Fox, I think, had like 4 turnovers in the final 5 minutes of the game.
He was terrible.
Yeah,
D'Angelo.
It was
by the way, his name is no longer Swipe a Fox. It's Swipe a D'Lo. He became D'Angelo Russell, a guy who, clearly is not made for the big moment right there, or the bigger the stage, the more he folds. That's De'Aaron Fox, in my opinion. But yeah, that Josh Hart, that was shades of 1995 Patrick Ewing with the missed finger roll against Indiana, and they ultimately lost that series to the Pacers. who eventually lost to the Orlando Magic. But yeah, I'm sure there was some PTSD from some of the older Knicks fans right there. But yeah, but Chaz, do you know what made that play a wash? Wemby coming back at the other end and missing 2 free throws. That's what made that play a little bit more tolerable.
I cannot believe he missed those 2 free throws at all.
Agreed.
So Chris, like, let me ask this.
Yeah.
I don't want to ask anything. I'm going to say this, and then you can
go ahead,
say what you like and retort to it. But the San Antonio Spurs, the difference in this series is not X's and O's, isn't physicality, isn't the referees, it's not even talent at this point. It's just pure experience. It's just experience. That's all it is. And the Knicks have been knocking out the door year after year after year for the last 3, maybe 4, almost 4 years, 3 years, really, primarily.
I'd say 3 for sure.
Ever since they got Cat, right? So like the last 3 years, really.
2 years.
2 years with Cat, and then the year before that with Julius Randle.
Correct.
I just want to say that the Knicks, more than anything, they don't beat themselves. And for this game 4, they beat themselves the entire game. The entire game, they beat themselves. Turnovers, misplays. I saw Carter Bryant get a lob off of a made basket running behind Jaylen Brown. Like, there were just inexplicable plays that were being made. And honestly, I thought Wemby was taking Karl Anthony Towns to the woodshed, like Cat did Wemby the first 2 games of the series, the first half of this game. So ultimately, for me, it just comes down to experience. Karl Anthony Towns only took 3 shots through the first 3.5 quarters of the game. I think he ended the game with a total of 5 shots, and he went 4 for 5 with 13 points. So it's like, bro, shoot the ball.
Yeah,
you shoot 10 shots, you might have would have had 25 points, and this game isn't even as close as what it is. So, or maybe OG doesn't have to do what he did with 33 points as well. So for the Knicks, it comes down to experience. And I think ultimately that's been the difference maker for them in this series, especially in game 2, when Wemby didn't go to the basket and settled for that shot. And same thing in game 3 when, Jalen Brunson kind of settled for a shot, but wasn't able to get the tip in game 3, but got it this time in game 4. So, Chris, what do you think is the difference primarily? Do you think it's anything else other than experience?
I would say better execution down the line. And, what did you and I were talking offline that the Spurs had to win these games going away. They couldn't allow themselves to get in a position where it becomes a 2 or 3 possession game late. You know what I mean? Where that's going to favor the Knicks. You have one of the great closers in Jalen Brunson. You obviously have a capable shot maker in OG Anunoby. We were talking about Karl Anthony Towns, how great he was the first 2 games of the series, and he was. But these 2 games in New York, in games 3 and 4, he's been a shell of himself. But OG has stepped up. He has been fantastic. And on a night where it was just him and Brunson knocking down shots for the majority of the game. Yeah, Alvarado made some big plays. Cat made some big shots in the 4th quarter. But it was really those 2 guys. They were doing the heavy lifting. It's been about the execution. It's been about the details, and it's been about the ability to just make things happen more so than the Spurs. Go back to the final seconds of game 2. What was the big criticism? Why didn't Fox go early? Why didn't he go at OG? Why did they wait so long to get a shot where, had they gone early, they could have maybe gotten 2 cracks at the apple. Look at what the Knicks did tonight. Brunson did not mess around. Granted, there was less time on the clock. He didn't mess around. He got that shot up thinking, hey, what if we get an offensive rebound and somebody can get a putback? Or
I think he thought that was going in. It looked good.
It looked good, but you know what? I was a little iffy on it. But in either case, no one accounted for OG Anunoby. And I get it. Like, you never know how these balls are going to come off the rim. It was a well-timed jump, a well-timed tip. The ball came off at exactly the right point of the rim at exactly the right time, and OG timed it perfectly. I mean, this is why that the asking price for him from Masai Ujiri in 2023 was so high, because this is a legit 2-way player extremely, almost criminally underrated. He could knock down the three. He could defend multiple positions. He could drive to the hoop. The issues with me has always been health related, not talent. And what he has done for this team now, really the last 2 games, but especially tonight, is show all of his skill set was on full display for all of New York and for all of the world to see.
God,
and he
Chris,
deserves that, you know? He deserves it.
He does. The Knicks
Yeah.
were awful collectively.
Oh, yeah.
Miles McBride was, and Landry Shamet.
Yeah. And Shaman's been good in these playoffs, but he stunk tonight. Yeah.
Clarkson, awful. Mitchell Robinson, awful.
But Chaz, can I tell you this?
Hold on, really.
No,
quick.
go. Yeah. I want to ask you something, but go ahead.
Jeremy Sohan got minutes. He hasn't played almost all playoffs. Mikal Bridges, awful. Josh Hart, awful. 8 rebounds, 6 assists. Pretty good, but just awful just in terms of
offensively.
33 minutes, 6 points. Like, you're talking Karl-Anthony Towns, 13 points. How the fuck did the New York Knicks win this game? I'm just looking at the box score, and it's all. And you look at now Champagnie, 5 points. He was awful, but Wembanyama 24, Fox 18, Vassell 18, Castle 13. Shit, Dylan Harper with 21 off the bench. Like, I have no idea how the Knicks won this game. Chris, what were you going to ask me?
No, all I was going to ask you, could you make the argument the Knicks have not really played a good series overall? I mean, think about it. Overall, I mean, we've now seen 16 quarters, right? We haven't had any overtime, I don't think. We've seen 16 quarters. Have the Knicks really dominated this series? Yeah, they're up 3-1, but have they dominated this series? What, in your opinion,
have the Knicks
dominated
this? I would say in the
let me ask you this.
Physically, okay, go ahead.
Have they played well in this series, in your opinion, overall, through 16 quarters?
No.
There you go.
No. And they're up 3-1.
Yeah, good.
They're saving their best game for game 6. They are going to absolutely annihilate the Spurs by 30 points in game 6. They're going to lose game 5. Spurs money line, go ahead and take it. The Spurs are going to come out, get your Spurs first quarter money line, Spurs first half, Spurs will absolutely win that game going away.
Mm-hmm.
But the New York Knicks at home in front of their home crowd next Tuesday, that's the game where they're going to put it on. They're going to put it on the Celtics they're going to put it on the Spurs like they did the Celtics to close them out to go to the Eastern Conference Final. Last year. I cannot wait. New York, it is their time. They're going to win it all. I took the Spurs to win this series. I took the Spurs in 5, and I took the Spurs in 6. Lost both of those bets tonight in the last game. So, Chris, I want to move it forward really quick because this isn't the last game.
Right.
Can the Spurs bounce back in game 5? I'm already telling you what I think. I think the Spurs win going away game 5. I thought that they were going to win game 5 regardless of if they lost tonight or not. So they should be up 3-2 next game, but they're hoping to not get closed out. Do the Spurs win game 5? What do you think?
I think they can win game 5 for sure. I'm reminded, in a 2-1 series, that game 4 is pivotal. If you're trailing that series, I know everyone was saying game 3 was huge for them because if you go down 0-3, you're done. But if you go down 3-1, your chances of winning 3 straight games, even though you do have 2 of the next 3 in your home building, assuming it gets to a game 7, those chances deteriorate quite a bit. That's the problem. And I have to go back, Chaz. I hate to strike a tough chord with you, but go back to game 4 of the 2008 finals. Lakers were up 24 in that game against Boston, right? In a critical 2-1 at home. They needed that to even the series. What happened? Boston stormed back and comeback. James Posey at house. Ray Allen, the crossover on Sasha Vujacic, and the finish. Paul Pierce dominated Kobe down the stretch, and there was just really no one to beat him. And what happened? Boston with one of the great playoff and finals wins and ended up taking a 3-1 series lead. What happened 2 nights later? The Lakers won. They won game 5. They protected their home court, but you never got the sense. Now, granted, this was during the 2-3-2 format days. You never got the sense the Lakers were going to win that series, even though they forced a game 6 and were able to recover from that loss and win in game 5. But I do think in San Antonio's case, this one stings because I think they felt like they've given away 2, if not all 3 games in this series. They're going to find a way to win game 5. I just don't know if they're going to get smashed on in game 6, just given how close and tightly played that the series has been. It's possible, but I don't know. I really don't know if the Knicks figured anything out tonight outside of the fact that we were very lucky that these guys not only cooled off, but collapsed in the second half.
Yeah. Crazy. I got the Spurs in game 5. I do think the Spurs will win game 5. I'll be kind of shocked. I'll be kind of shocked if the Knicks are celebrating their championship on the Spurs floor. So I just think that the Spurs will, especially Wemby. Oh man, that's gotta hurt really, really bad. Like that kind of loss when he played like that and they did everything that they could to win this game.
Yeah. Harper was good.
It's absolutely heartbreaking. But guys like Champagny, guys like Keldon Johnson, guys like Luke Cornett, Carter Bryant should actually be pretty proud of himself. The fact that Harrison Barnes doesn't get in, they don't really need him as much. But I thought everybody did their job. De'Aaron Fox was just the guy who just let the team down. The Spurs were 2 for 14 at the rim in the second half. Wembanyama was
only
1 for
scored,
8.
I believe. And by the way, I think they only scored 30 points in the second half after scoring 76 in the first. I mean, yeah, the final score was 107, 106.
They got outscored by 12 in the third, and then by 24 points, Chris. I'm sorry, 18 points in the fourth. Like to lose the second half like that, that's just nothing but experience.
It is, but at the same point in time, and I tweeted this out, big leads in the modern NBA, I don't care how much you're up. If you don't maintain that offensive aggression and proper execution, other teams could also get hot. Everybody jacks up threes. So between all of the threes getting jacked up, right, and the pace of the game and the number of possessions, these leads safe. You mentioned the 2019 Clippers came back from 31 on the road against a Warriors team that ended up falling 2 wins short of the title that year, and they beat them. The Clippers did it again in 2012 against the Memphis Grizzlies on the road as well. So, I mean, we have been seeing this a lot more over the last 12 to 13 years because of the three-point shooting, right? And there's plenty of other examples where it's like, oh, we're up 20, we're up 25. Yeah, but if you don't maintain that, right, and you go ice cold like you did San Antonio, and you're a younger team that doesn't really know how to kind of overcome that mentally, your game, like New York, who did this, by the way, in game 1, not to this degree, but in game 1 against the Cavs, they were of the Eastern Conference Finals. Chaz, they were down 22 with 7:47 to go. What happened in that game? They came back and won. Right. So I'm just saying, you no lead is safe. You got to continue to maintain that hunger as if you're down, and you have to try your best. I'm not saying maintain 60% shooting from downtown, but you do have to maintain the proper execution. You've got to manage the clock a little bit better. You got to make sure your defense doesn't let down to back up whatever you may lose offensively in the second half. And the Spurs just didn't do that. So yeah, you're absolutely right. It's experience, but it's also execution. A lot of little mistakes that they did tonight. Even Barkley was pointing that out, that these were just dumb things. And the one guy I'm also going to look at tonight, and I mentioned it earlier, is De'Aaron Fox. Why would you try to score on that layup when you have the clock on your side and they now need to foul? Dribble around. Be like Bob Cousy out there, bro. Force them to foul you and maintain control of that game.
I do think like sometimes your basketball instincts just kick in. I thought he had enough space and a good angle. It just they closed on him faster than he would have liked and what I would have thought as well. But
Right.
De'Aaron Fox, that play actually isn't as egregious as when he threw it out at half court
Yeah.
earlier
He had a
in the
few
game.
blunders tonight.
Then he had
I
another
agree.
one where he went to go make a move and the ball just bounced off his foot as he went into his pivot. So De'Aaron Fox, he's the scapegoat tonight. It was either going to be De'Aaron Fox or Josh Hart, and Josh Hart is happy that OG Anunoby saved him from being De'Aaron Fox tonight, Chris. Let's move it forward really quick. We've talked about game 4 and 5, the NBA Finals, everything like that. This is something that me and you talked offline about as well. I want to get right into it because short show tonight. We got one more topic after this. But Chris, who had it was like a week of just absolute crime by executives and coaches in the NBA. Mike Brown complaining about the free throw disparity, 24-8, between the Knicks and the Spurs in game 3, or Sam Presti saying that SGA is actually playing 5-on-6 and the sixth person is social media, referring to people and their opinions about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and his foul baiting. They both were just crying, in my opinion. I didn't want to hear any of that shit from either of them. But Chris, which one was weaker to you?
Well, I think Sam Presti should have been a little bit better. Mike Brown, I think, was a little bit more. He pulled a page out of Phil Jackson's. We're not getting enough calls, and we used to see Phil kind of complain like that in order to swing the officiating in his favor. So yeah, I didn't appreciate hearing that because the Knicks did not deserve to win game 3, and you didn't lose because of the officiating. So it was weak, no question about it. But Sam Presti, a reigning executive of the year, or not a reigning executive of the year, but a former executive of the year, a team that's about a year removed from a title, a team with a 2-time MVP on it, 3-time best record in the Western Conference the last 3 seasons. That's got to be better. That's got to be better. Like, who cares what trolls on social media are saying, bro? You, like I was telling you, Denzel from Training Day, I walk a higher path, son. Don't degrade yourself. Don't sink yourself to that level. Rise above it, Sam. You and Shai and the rest of those guys, you don't need to do that. So, like, what are you trying to do? Because that's not helping Shai. That's only going to make it worse. You know what I mean? And you validate these online trolls by talking about it, by giving that any oxygen. And so, as much as I love Sam Presti, a fantastic general manager, a president of operations, whatever his title in OKC, he's had under the multiple finals appearances. But this was and now a championship recently. That to me was the one of the week. Be better, man. Don't give these savages online, these freaking keyboard warriors, any more oxygen than they freaking need, man. You're better than that, and Shai's better than that. So just shut up and keep it pushing.
I agree. It's Sam Presti. Mike Brown, just trying to get calls, just trying to win a championship, crying like a little girl, or baby, I should say. Don't want to be sexist here. But Sam Presti, you're coming off of a championship season, almost going to the finals again this year, but your team blew it. If Jalen Brown, Jalen
Williams,
Jada, thanks, is in with his hamstring injury that kept him out, then you probably, I don't know, but the way this Knicks team is going, I think this matchup is actually worse for the Knicks. If they played OKC, they would have been able to match their physicality. They would have been able to match them on the perimeter. OKC would have had a tough time with the Knicks as well, in my opinion. So for me, I think Sam Presti had the weaker comments. I think it's absolutely weak because here's the thing. SGA isn't the first person that's played in the NBA that's an MVP that's been scrutinized by the papers or the media or reporters or the general public at large, right? Do we forget that Magic Johnson was once called Tragic Johnson in the 80s before he broke through against the Celtics? Yep. Do we forget that Kobe airballed those Utah Jazz Western Conference Finals or semifinals shots as well? Do we forget about the moments for LeBron coming up very small against the Dallas Mavericks, Jordan, but who was already a great player but wasn't getting as much recognition and shine that he should have until he broke through against the Pistons? Like, I can name player after player that has been scrutinized by the public at large and the media. Now, there's a difference because there's no Twitter, there's no TikTok, there's no Instagram in the 80s, 90s, 2000s. But once you got to the 2010s, the only player that's been scrutinized as much as Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, in my opinion, has been LeBron. And it's not even close. And that guy has won multiple rings and multiple MVPs. Your player, SGA, has not. He could, but he probably won't, in my opinion, because you're going to have to start paying your team, and your team's going to get worse because guys like Dort and guys like Hartenstein aren't going to be on the team anymore. And I don't know if SGA is LeBron-level talent to be able to bring a team through like he did in 2016. So in my opinion, Sam Presti and his crying, get that shit out of here. Social media is always going to scrutinize a great player, whether he's foul baiting or not. And your player, by the way, does it at an extreme level. Luka does it. No, Jokic does it. Bron does it. Plenty of players do it. But the way SGA does it, he takes it to a whole nother level. So Sam Presti for me.
Yeah, I think you brought up some good points. You know, you can't be the foul baiter or the foul merchant and then whine when, you know, people are criticizing you for it. And I don't think anyone's denying SGA's talent, but I think when people are seeing how he's getting the whistles and everything like that, and you know, compared to maybe how other guys got the whistles, I just think there's a lack of, you know, you can't really whine about it after the fact. Oh, he's defending himself from social media. Who gives a shit, man? Who cares? You know what I mean? Like I said, you focus on the task at hand. Yeah, right. But I think that's nonsense, man. It's like, listen, your legacy is set. You guys are the champs. Let that speak for itself. You know, you guys have won the West 3 consecutive years. That's not easy to do. That puts you in Golden State territory. That puts you in, you know, with the Splash Brothers. That puts you in Shaq and Kobe territory. That puts you into, you know, the Showtime Lakers of the 80s territory. You know, that is not an easy thing to do. So I agree. I just don't think you should give this stuff oxygen. Because it's only going to make it worse. You know, these creatures now, I'm not even going to call them people. These creatures on social media, especially on X, they're relentless, bro. And you know this as well as I do. So, yeah, Sam, focus on building a team and you know, fixing Jalen hamstrings' injuries. That's what you should be focusing on. So that way I can call him J-Dub again instead of J-Ham.
Oh,
yeah, I said it.
Moving on, Sam Presti, you're at home on your couch right now. We're not going to give you too much more time. Chris, we got to talk about it. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that we had to put this in the show, but it's a report that's out there and people are losing their fucking minds about it. So I'm gonna let you tee this one off first. There's a report that LeBron is expected to ask for the max. Do you think that the Lakers will offer him a max deal or a lower number or anything at all?
It won't be a max deal. It's going to be a lower number. I heard the same thing, and I wonder if this is a ploy to apply some pressure and to be courted and to try to get the Lakers to their hands and knees. And the problem with that is, LeBron, this is not Jeannie Buss's Lakers anymore. This is Mark Walters. This is a corporate thing. There's a new sheriff in town, right? So yeah, Pelinka's still there as an executive, as the main executive, but now he is consulting with Walter. He's consulting with, you know, a team of Dodger execs. And Jeannie Buss is still there, but now she reports to Walter directly. So the Lakers are not going to beg for a 41-year-old who's still playing at a high level, LeBron James, when they already have Luka Doncic in the bank, right? We'd like to have LeBron back, but we're not going to at a certain number when we have other needs. We still don't have 3-and-D wings. We don't have a solidified front court. We don't really have much of a bench. So when we have these other things that we need to address, especially don't forget Austin Reeves, you got to make a decision on him. What makes you think that us or anybody is going to give you a max deal? So that's the thing. You got to read the market, brother. Like I said,
thing, man. Yeah,
still playing at a high level, not a max deal level. Go ahead.
I think the reporting is erroneous. I'm going to start there. I'm questioning the reporting.
Erroneous on both.
And the reason why is because he knows like it's a negotiating ploy. Like you'd be stupid not to ask for it. He's still an all NBA player, right?
Yeah.
So it's just the Lakers can't afford to give him the max and still give Austin Reeves what he wants, Luke what he wants, and still fill out the rest of the team. So LeBron and Austin both are going to have to take less than the max. They're both not getting the max, in my opinion, from the Lakers. That is at least.
Yeah.
So I don't think LeBron gets more than $25 million from any team in the NBA, unless he decides he just wants to go, somewhere that has cap space just to be able to make the max. But at this point, that's not the player that we know him to be, given what he's done and given where he is in his career. So especially with his team being as good as it is with Luka, AR, Bron, and the rest of the team, still a top 4 seed in the West to get home court, which is pretty impressive given everybody, the gauntlet that is the West right now between Wemby, SGA, Jokic, Luka, KD, Booker, and and that's just the first 5 or 6 off the top of my head. I can go way deep. I haven't even mentioned Kawhi. I haven't even mentioned many other guys. So in my opinion, do I think that they're going to re-sign LeBron? I do. I don't think LeBron goes anywhere. I don't think he retires. I do think that it's just about him and the Lakers landing on a number that he feels very, very comfortable with. And I think a 2-year, $50 million deal, in my opinion, is absolutely right in line. I that's what I see. A 2-year, $50 million deal, 25 guaranteed this year, 25 next year if you want it. And let's just rock from there. And then everybody else that the Lakers sign and they get in the offseason goes on a 2-year deal as well, to match up with Luka, because Luka signed a 3-year deal extension. So that's why I think that.
Yeah. I think more than likely it's going to look something like that. I don't think he's going to get more. Is going to part ways with assets in order and more length of their team, because you're at a stage in your career where you could do the heavy lifting like you were doing in Cleveland and Miami before that. And then the first stint in Cleveland before that, where it's like, oh, as long as I'm the best player, you just need this kind of talent around me, and then I'll be able to get us over that hump. You're just not that guy anymore, unfortunately. You're still very good. You could still help a team, but it's got to be the right kind of fit. And you're also a defense that you're getting to be more of a defensive liability. That's the other thing too that no one's really talking about. Not saying LeBron's a bad defender, but to be able to defend at a high level, could LeBron hang with a lot of these guys in New York or San Antonio in a series like this? I'm not so sure over the course of a 7-game series. So the Lakers at some point, when you have a star player that's already a defensive sieve in Luka Doncic, you want to re-sign another one in Reeves, who's also not great defensively. And then you have one in LeBron, who is still very good, but also not great defensively. It's like, how are we supposed to get past an Oklahoma City? How are we supposed to get past a San Antonio, a rebooted Denver team, a Minnesota team on the rise? You know what I mean? Houston, who I think won't have a significant drop off next year. It's going to be tough to do that. So if you're the Lakers, you really got to get this. You've got to get this offseason right. You have to get this right. And if that means saying, goodbye to LeBron because he's playing hardball, which I agree. I don't think he is. I think if anything, this is a negotiating play. I agree with that, with you on that, Chaz. But at the same point in time, you still need to look to the future and look at the structure of the teams that are going really far and see if you could emulate that. That's your best bet right now. So we'll see what happens, brother.
We'll see what happens. Well, thank you guys for tapping in with us into this special finals edition of the Outlet Forum on the night of the greatest finals comeback in NBA history. Down 29 points to take the lead late. Josh Hart almost blew it, but thank God De'Aaron Fox wanted to go up 3, missed the layup. Jalen Brunson shoots it, hits front rim. OG Anunoby tips it in. And Stephon Castle actually tried to draw a foul with 1 second left. Thank God Zach Zarba did not call that foul and also ruined the worst or the best finals comeback of all time. So we appreciate you guys tapping in with us. We will see you guys next week. And hopefully by next week, we're talking about the New York Knicks being NBA champions. Because at the end of the day, I see this world in purple and gold goggles. Shout out my guy, Kobe. We don't want the Spurs to win.
Yes, sir.
Go New York, go New York, go. 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 Peace.
Start spreading the news.
Peace, y'all. See you next week.